Good morning. My name is Rohit Kaushik, and I am the founder and CEO of Pegasus Networks. Pegasus is a Web3 application that generates non-tradable NFTs for each digitally verifiable task or set of tasks that an individual successfully completes. Examples of this include and are not limited to 1. Submitting code to remote repositories, 2. Content creation from videos to blogs, 3. Music, and even verifying other submissions count as a task. Pegasus will also be an engaging social media centered around NFTs for users to engage through each other's professional and academic activity on a daily basis. The main problem I set out to solve as a part of my initial hypothesis, which I still plan on solving, involves current recruitment processes due to their inefficiencies. Low supply of jobs paired with high supply of employees is leading to an increased standardization of testing, which will reduce human creativity as a function of time. The social phenomena behind this would demand its own video. Hiring processes are highly drawn out, repetitive, and lead to zero value gain in most cases since most candidates are not hired. After performing outreach based on this, the results led me to change my angle of approach to this problem due to reasons I will discuss shortly. My current hypothesis involved the unavailability to verify a candidate's work and academic experience, short of contacting references, which is not a foolproof and a very manual process. Next, lacking portfolio verification for jobs in many industries like technology, which is one of the biggest sectors in the world. And finally, tracking all the work that one does on a daily basis is tedious, manual, and so is updating one's portfolio on a regular basis. My customer outreach initially began with businesses inquiring about their hiring processes and their openness to use a platform that allows non-standardized hiring. This was centered around the initial product idea that I had, a platform where companies can post open source projects and people can work on these projects with companies hiring the people that make satisfiable contributions over time. Companies had several IP and legal issues around this. Most were skeptical, with only 5% of businesses being open to try out the product. This was clearly not the right approach for me, paired with a huge cold start problem with this positioning. I will discuss the motivations for my pivot in the next slide. For my current hypotheses, I switched to the initial consumer base to be only users. I sent surveys to students across my university and some working professionals if they would use my product as a tool for dynamic portfolio generation, introducing the idea of non-tradable NFTs that come with zero risk and demonstrating the convenience of a one-click portfolio download. It's that easy for them to use it. 80% of my surveys came back affirmative. The pivot and my motivation behind it. There was a massive cold start problem with my initial open source contribution platform, and that was 1. For users to be active on it, I required companies to sign up and open source their work, which they had issues with. 2. For companies to join, out of which only 5% agreed, they required constraints on the product, and it would only be worthwhile for them if they were actual users on the app. One side of the network needed the other for it to work, and I was dealing with two hard sides in this particular network. So I took a step back and analyzed my business with the entirety of my vision. The key resource on my platform is the NFTs, and therefore the first tool I provide should be centered around it. That is the automatic portfolio generation tool. I then realized that a mere tool would be incredibly hard to organically grow and generate value on its own. It was missing a network of engaged users. This shifted my focus for my initial positioning product from the open source platform to building a social media for users, particularly students and working professionals, where they can engage and collaborate with each other even on a daily basis through these NFTs that represent all the work that they do over time. I realized that digital submissions can also include academic work undertaken by students as part of their courses, and NFTs can be given out for all of their coursework. This ultimately led to the resolution of my cold start problem, with academic NFTs resolving the issue of my atomic networks itself, which will be groups of students in universities across the world. Coincidentally, they are more inclined towards newer technology and Web3 as well. The resultant product is an academic and professional social media where users can understand each other's skill set in a more detailed way and even find peers for collaborative projects based on their needs. The best part, everything is reliable due to the nature of blockchain technology and a public ledger. Evidently, there are several industries that I will dabble with. The total market caps at over $800 billion, consisting of all the students and working professionals in the world. The edtech itself is currently at $130 billion and is growing, along with the associated market of educational institutions. Web2 and Web3 companies comprise a market cap of over $300 billion. Insurance, tax, sponsorships, and other associated companies add on to this. These can be associated with employee contracts. And lastly, digital marketing is growing at over $400 billion today. Based on my current business model, I plan to target students and working professionals in a social media setting. EdTech companies will highly benefit from this since they will draw more users due to knowledge verification and reliability. Web2 and Web3 enterprises will benefit from a knowledge management system that I will provide, which gives them detailed analytics of their workforce's activity and value generation. Over the last 3 months, I've learned a plethora about growing atomic networks through replication and devised a strategy for my business. I also had to think about different hard sides that this network could bring in and how I can incentivize them to stay on. I also had to come up with ways to address the needs of future high value users in order to drive more engagement and retention. Finally, changing my product definition itself posed very interesting technological and economical problems for me, and I look forward to solving each one of them when their time comes. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.